Hallmark airplanes, so it's got some stuff like that. And then showed the guys last night. It's got a little stick stuck in the top. It's like a Charlie Brown kite eating tree, but it's a plane. So there's a plane stuck in the top.
The Red Baron.
Yeah, I don't know if you've ever been around radio-controlled airplanes, but back in the 60s, a guy that was real prominent in the industry named Phil Kraft invented the concept of what they called the ugly stick. It was just a model airplane that was more or less a boxy fuselage, and he kind of played it all up and put the German markings on it and whatnot to make it Das Ugly Stick. And there's been 5,000 iterations of that design since. So that one's called a Littlest Stick. That was a set of plans or a kit that Ace RC marketed years ago, and I picked one up, and it's got a little – that one's actually got a nitromethane motor on it. It's got a little 0.010 cubic inch Testors or Cox engine on it. It's never run. It's just on there for looks. But
wow.
I thought you were a private pilot. Are you? Or
yes, I am a private pilot, but I do radio controlled stuff too. So,
okay. And
I was a Navy air traffic controller for 6 years, so I was pretty involved in that industry.
You still doing that?
Oh yeah, it's a little cold. I don't feel like going over the hangar right now.
You're about to start working for free.
What's that?
You're about to start working for free. Did they pass the spending bill? Or?
Oh, I'm not still an air traffic controller. I used to be. I work for a utility now. We have a major utility here that's most of the state of Michigan, both natural gas and electric, and I'm on the natural gas side of the business. I bring back telemetry from the stations that are along the transmission and storage and distribution line, so a lot of measurement and pressures and stuff like that.
Okay.
Computer nerd stuff.
Digging all the shell cases.
What's the plant that you work at, Tim? I've seen quick references in your videos. I've been curious.
It's a big blower. God, you caught me off guard, Curtis. It's we make industrial fans. Like for people underground. It's for exhaust and pull fresh air in.
It's Blowhard Industries. That's why Trump came and spoke.
Yeah, it probably could be, yes.
Well, when you said you're making the trek to Bass Pro, I thought maybe you meant the one in Memphis. My son and I, spring break 2 years ago, we stayed at the Pyramid for 2 nights at the Bass Pro, the big one that's in the old Pyramid that used to be the Grizzlies arena. Now it's something else because you can, after hours, you can go down and shop and you just tell them your room number and they just put it on your bill and they'll even put the stuff in the car for you. So we did a lot of neat stuff with that. It was not a cheap place to stay, but we had a really good time. It was fun.
Yeah, anything involves Bass Pro ain't cheap.
But what was neat is we went downtown. When I was in the Navy, some of my schools were in Memphis, so I'd been to all the places on Beale Street. Silky O'Sullivan's and BB King's and Rum Boogie and all those places. So I took my son back to them, and he really liked Rum Boogie Cafe. We ate there, and of course, when we came back to the hotel after our dinner, the people at the desk called us by our names. I'm like, it was expensive, but they were paying attention. So it was kind of nice kind of service.
Yeah, that's a good deal.
It's like the casinos in Vegas where you check in the hotel. They have facial recognition software, so they just they call you by name when you walk up.
I've stayed at some pricey hotels, in downtown Las Vegas and stuff, but I don't think I've ever paid as much for a room as I did at Bass Pro Shops. It was over $300 a night.
Wow.
But it was spectacular. The rooms were incredible, and they gave me ducks, Tim. I got 10 ducks out of the room.
Oh, that's cool.
I got a bunch of little duckies that came from the Bass Pro Shops hotel.
That is awesome.
Yeah. They're little rubber ducks. I think they're smaller than yours. They're probably, maybe 2 inches or so. They're in the closet. I'll show them to you sometime if you want to see them.
There you go. Yeah, my daughter, she works for the warehouse. And let's see, was it Friday? No, yeah, Thursday. Thursday was her last day for the week, for the Christmas. No, actually, she's got to work tomorrow. But anyway, Luke Bryant showed up and sang some songs for him, and she was really happy about that.
Huh. I didn't realize that Bacon had turned us live. They're laughing at us in the side chat, and I thought we were just sitting here kibitzing.
Yeah, and the sad part is Bacon left.
Wow.
Yeah, he's having internet issues.
So who's the official spokesperson if Bacon's not here to MC this event?
Well, if he's off more than 5 minutes, don't we get shut off?
I don't know.
That's what happened to Uncle Jim. So we're gonna find out.
Yeah.
So Eagle Eye's asking about my reindeer and my bobcat. Bacon was talking about that. That's a Christmas decoration. I just threw it on there. That's my reindeer mount. He's trying to mount the bobcat. Bacon says.
On the hat chat, I almost asked the cat when the camera's focused on you, Marvin, and the cat's in the background. It almost looks like a pet cat laying there, a domestic cat. So I was gonna ask last night. I'm like, is that a real cat? And it's kind of weird.
It is a real cat. It's just a stuffed one.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah,
I guess since Bacon isn't here, I'll look up in the chat and see who we've got here. It looks like Vanessa Kitty was first and Chico was second, and Thomas Pickering, Tin Man. Hey, somebody named PC Bullet Empire. Anybody heard of him?
Who is that guy?
I don't know. And then we got Tin Man, who's been working on that 223 series. I saw he posted, I think, 2 more today, so that's cool. We got Idaho Rogers, USMC is here, Semper Fi. Let's see here. We got Loads of Bacon says the internet is out to get him. Richard Tibbetts Jr. is here. Richard was on the hat chat last night. It was nice to have him. Let's see here. Scroll down a little further. Big Al. Hello, Big Al. I'll always remember your pistol challenge there when they did that, when you driving back and forth on the range to do the shot. That was really neat. You were so excited when you hit the can. Let's see. Big Al, Tin Man.
Hey, is this thing on?
It is. We're just running down the side chat, Bacon, since we couldn't see you.
My goodness. I don't believe in Christmas elves, but I sure believe in live stream gremlins.
Yeah.
Kind of like my chronograph at the range today. It's just
Hey, speaking of gremlins and Grinches, I heard a trivia thing on the radio the other day. They were playing the You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch. And I never realized that the gentleman that's the voice talent on that song was also Tony the Tiger for Kellogg's cereal for the Frosted Flakes. When you listen to the song,
Mr. Grinch.
Yep, then he does it.
I didn't know that.
It's the same guy. Never knew that. Thorzax, Dave is here. I hope that pinched nerve is doing better for him. Let's see. Fuzzfork is here. Fuzz T48. Kyle Lusk. Good morning, Kyle Lusk. We missed you last evening. I was late, didn't get to see you. Who else here? Eagle Eye. Hello, Kenny. Welcome. 243 Josh is here.
Hey, Oceans.
Hey, how you doing?
CS Reloading Bench is here. Okay, I think I got a pretty good rundown on the chat, Bacon, if you want to take over.
Oh, I just want to thank everyone for coming. It's looking at the people that show up both on screen and in the side chat. It humbles me that it really does. I look and I see friends, I see family, I see some outstanding folks. So I appreciate y'all showing up. We several minutes ago, before I restarted our router, I was trying to say we started this thing, I think it was back in May, a monthly Reloaders Network live stream. Just promised it would be chaos. That's the only thing we promised, and we've held true to that. I know it's a couple days before Christmas, so people's schedule is not normal right now. There's a lot of folks traveling, a lot of folks at in-laws maybe jumping on because they're looking for an escape. But I sure appreciate you hanging out tonight. And really tonight, I have no agenda other than seeing where the conversation goes, seeing what comes up, And I've been on YouTube almost 2 years now. I have never done a giveaway on my channel, so I think we may give a couple things away tonight as well.
Ooh.
Oh.
So, but before we get there, let's go ahead and just so folks, if they aren't familiar with the faces on screen, we've got a couple here. I don't think have been on a Reloaders Network live stream before. Let's go ahead and real quick introduce yourselves. As I'm looking at my screen, first one I'm looking at here is Curtis. So why don't you go in and we'll start with Curtis.
Okay, well, I'm Curtis Chapin. My channel on YouTube is William C. Chapin, and I see that my son has showed up in the side chat. Hello, Alex. It's good to see you. He's only about 20 feet from me in his room, but by the power of the internet, it's like he's actually here. So that's good stuff. I've had the YouTube channel going for, I guess, just about a year now. Some guy named after a pork product kind of roped me into making some videos, and I've enjoyed it. I enjoy the camaraderie of the group and the interactions. I really like the live chats and things and trying new things with the firearms and all that. So on the channel, it's kind of a variety, mostly firearms and reloading, and occasionally a little bit of weirdness just to shake it up. I try to do things a little bit different than other people do so that I'm just not another mundane person doing product reviews.
And you've got the best soundtracks of anybody out here, I think.
Well, thank you.
Looks like we've got the big man himself on here. I see your mouth moving, but I'm not hearing your voice. I think you got yourself muted, maybe.
You talking to me?
Nope.
Oh, okay, good.
Well, while he's sorting that out, we'll go ahead and kick over to you, Marvin.
Hey, well, I'm Marvin, Ozark Spirits, my channel. I've been doing videos for about a year and a half, maybe 2 years now, and this is in the fall is kind of a tough time for me to crank out some videos. It's being a contractor, everybody wants it done by the holidays, and we take about 10 days off over the holidays, so it's been a crunch this year. I did get the Trace Amigos shot today. Got to do some B-reel stuff and get it put together, but I'm sorting the brass out now because, yes, it dumped out in my range bag. But do a little cooking, a little brewing, a little loading, a little shooting, a little hunting, whatever I'm tickles my fancy that day is what we're going to be doing. My upcoming series, it's one Eagle Eye and I kind of talked about, is going to be budget optics. Can it survive the 458 SOCOM? So if a budget, I'm starting on Amazon, and the cheapest optics I can find, I'm going to work my way up. I got one for $8. We're going to see if that red dot survives the 458 SOCOM. If it does, put it on your rifle and have a good time. If it doesn't, Bravo Sierra. So there you go.
That's outstanding. I your 458 once. That was fun.
And I don't know how you missed those pigs at 20 yards, but you did.
I don't know if I missed or not. I know we never found it.
That's right. Well, we're going to get some more here. Bacon and Preacher and I are going hog hunting down in Texas. Looks like the weather's going to cooperate. We're heading down Thursday and hopefully going to hunt Friday and Saturday. And everybody has to bring a case of Tannerite.
I may have missed that thing just due to nerves. There's something just exhilarating about bacon on the hoof.
That's right. That's right. But hopefully you'll be able to hang around for some shooting on Saturday afternoon. My brother-in-law traded off his 50 BMG, so we don't get to shoot that, but maybe we'll get the Quigley gun out for you to shoot. That's always a hoot to shoot.
That sounds better than that 2-inch barreled 50 cal.
Oh well, that's the man card revolver right there. You shoot that, you get your man card, kind of like Josh shooting that 460 Weatherby. We got one of those if you want to try it.
I got 6 kids and a carry 44. I'm content with my current version of man card. Tim, it's great to see you. Why don't you introduce yourself?
I'm Tim Robinson. I have the PC Bullet Empire channel. I do a lot of casting and reloading. I'm always loading for the 308, and that'll be something that I'll just constantly be running on my channel, is trying to improve or see what I can do with the 308 in the 722 Remington I've got. And I'm starting a series now with a 7mm 08, and I took it out today and got that, and I'll probably be putting out the video tomorrow for that. And then some 357s. I've got some of them coming up. I'm always doing something, but never seem to have time to do the videos and get it going. But I'm going to try and get that change. And that's basically what I've got going.
I love your current setup. I can't help but notice when you jump on, you get the antlers sticking out the back of your head there. I really do love that.
Yeah.
It cracks me up.
It just happened.
All right. Big man, did you get the audio sorted?
Nope, earbuds aren't working.
There he is.
See, I'm telling you, live stream gremlins.
It's got to be.
All right, Oceans.
Oh yeah. Hi, my name is Julio. My YouTube channel is Ocean374. This whole week I've been doing a lot of powder coating, and I also have done a lot of casting for my 308. Pretty soon I'll be starting my 308 project, and also I'm doing more reloads for my 44 Magnum project also. So I'll be having a few videos coming up pretty soon. And that's it.
You are the shotgun man.
Yeah, actually I got that on hold for now, because I've been having problems with my shoulder, and when I went out with my 308, I made things worse than what it is.
Oh.
Yeah, so I have a pinched nerve in my neck and my shoulder. It's been like that for almost a month now. So I kind of pushed it. But I had to get it done. I wanted to fire the 308.
Right.
Get your muzzle brake for that 308.
Any of you have the email address for Richard Tibbetts?
No.
Yeah, I
Does Richard use Slack?
No.
Yeah, I'm gonna get the same muzzle brake that Kenny ordered for his.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think 22 fell out. Okay.
So, Tim, is your can you see the side chat currently?
No, I cannot. I'm on my phone and don't have another device to follow.
Julio, can you see the side chat?
Yes.
Pick out a name there.
Anybody?
Yeah.
I will say Kyle is there. We have somebody new here. Tactical guy.
Yeah, pick somebody. Tactical IT guy.
Yeah.
Tactical IT guy. Send me either catch me on Slack or send me an email at lovethebacon@thereloadersnetwork.com, and I will mail you one of the Reloaders Network coffee mugs and one of the patches.
And there's somebody else here. Loaded Cap Gun.
Loaded Cap. See, we got some great folks on that. But yeah, well, Tactical IT guy, get a hold of me. Give me your mailing address, and I'll send you one of the coffee mugs and the patches. We'll give a few of those away tonight.
Can you hear me now?
Hey, Bacon,
Yes.
the tactical IT guy says that you're like that guy from Home Improvement on the other side of the fence. You don't ever get to see his face.
Well, nobody that sees it wants to again. So
We saw his face kind of last night. He hadn't shaved in a while, but we got to see it.
Yeah, that was good. I was glad you came on there, Bacon. That was nice.
Yeah, I that text. I was like, that beard's got to be driving you nuts.
To cut that out of paper, my wife grabbed a glue stick and some cotton balls. Said, "Come here." All right.
It looks like Nathan's lady is in the chat, but he isn't. GH586 just sold her out, and so I guess maybe we all ought to be kind to her while Nathan's not around.
It looks like Big Man's back, and I think I heard something from him. So go for it, brother.
Now? Can you hear me now?
There you are.
Loud and clear.
All right, perfect.
Yep, doing good.
All right, I had to switch up some technology here. My name's Eric. I've got the Big Man's Outdoor channel. I just started a couple months ago, just kind of as a way, I guess, to share some of my experiences that I have related to pretty much anything outdoors. I've been spending a lot of time with my 224 Valkyrie reloading. That's been taking up most of my, I guess, posts as of late. Although I did put something today. I'm going to start playing around with a muzzleloader because we are screaming into late season hunting, and I have not done anything with that. So I'm going to do a couple things around sighting in the muzzleloader, some stuff that my dad had passed on to me at one point. Gave me some material about that, so I want to give that a try and see what happens. But yeah, I'm just completely humbled and glad to be here with all you fine gentlemen this evening.
No, it's great having you on. It wasn't too long ago you started posting on the Reloaders Network. You've had a pretty consistent stream since. That's been some great content. I think that article you threw out most recently has really generated some discussion. Yeah,
it was just something that I was thinking about, and I mean, I just wanted to, I guess, like you say, throw it out there and generate some discussion, see what other people have. I know a lot of the stuff that ends up on there is videos, but I wanted to try and see if we get some feedback going and see just what everybody else thought. I'm kind of new to the reloading game. I did it a little bit when I was younger with my dad, and he got out of it, and I started back into it, and I know the very, very basics of it, but there's a lot I don't know.
For the folks that didn't catch that, there's let me throw out that if you get notifications about new posts on the Reloaders Network, today was kind of a busy day.
Yeah.
I had more posts today than probably in any other day in the last several months. And part of that's because we've had a couple new authors come on recently, and one of those was Manny CA. And so since he jumped in, he threw up a whole series that he's been doing. But that turned into, I think it was 35 posts in a matter of a few minutes that he uploaded. So rather than pushing all 35 out at the same time, I did kind of stagger them over a few days. But it's still, feel free to go back and catch some of those if you're interested. Don't feel like you have to catch them all today.
Yeah, he was very busy.
And that's quite a series too. But there were a few other folks that put some stuff out today. There was a good video by Buffalo's Outdoors. There was a video by Chapin. There was I can't remember, Big Man. Was that article we put out? Was that today or is that?
I think that was yesterday that I put that out.
And there may be one or two others in there as well. So.
I guess Uncle Jim's coming on it.
Yeah, Uncle Jim is on. Yeah, perfect timing.
I didn't recognize you. Wear your hat.
Well,
In water.
I caught the first part of the live stream last night, but I didn't catch the end. It sounds like maybe I missed something there.
Am I echoing at all?
No, you're good.
No.
So far, so good.
Okay, good. It's the good news.
Wait,
Just your head.
okay,
is echoing.
what happened to hello? This is Uncle Jim.
All pooped out. Timothy, I'm sorry.
We all went to bed with Jim last night.
Yo, yeah.
This is like deja vu, all you guys on here, except for I got the plates behind me.
When I looked this morning, I saw that yesterday's chat was 6 hours. And I said, oh, it was kind of shorter than.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a weird ending. I had to explain that one this morning.
She was there. Why did?
Sounds like I got some catching up to do.
No, don't
Yeah.
bother.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Was there another spill?
Oh, you know what? I got to clean up on aisle 3. I forgot about that.
Uh-oh.
And very, very funny. Very funny, by the way.
Well, we've got some outstanding folks on screen, and we got some even better folks in the side chat. And like I said, I don't have any sort of hanging out with you guys Christmas party here. So, what do folks want to talk about? And that's a side chat and on screen as well. Any questions? Any topics? The floor's open.
I can see the side chat, Bacon. So when things come along, I'll pass it along. Looks like we're kind of holding steady with the same folks that were here that we named before. I see.
Georgia boy.
Was Loaded Cap Gun there before or no?
Yes,
Yeah.
Loaded Captain was there before. I see Georgia boys come in. JH586, Jamie has come in. It's good to see him.
Josh is here also.
Yep.
I got a question for Big Man. You said you're loading 224 Valkyrie. Are you having the issues with torn up brass and things like that other folks are having?
To an extent, yes. I'm actually in the middle of a video series I'm doing on brass life study. So I've shot the stuff that I'm using. I'm doing about 50 pieces. And I've shot them 3 times, and I've dropped about 10%. So yeah, there's definitely some brass issues there, and I'm using Federal brass. It's all factory stuff that I was using when I was, sighting in and just trying to find something on the factory side before I even started reloading for it. So yeah, it seems to be tearing up some of the brass. So I mean, it's a work in progress, but I don't expect it to be any better than anybody else is getting. So.
What was that due to primer pocket blowout?
Yeah, so I've got of the 50 pieces, I've lost 6. 5 were primer pockets that are just too big, and 1 has a split neck, has a big split down the neck.
Yeah. So go ahead, Jim.
Go ahead, Timothy. I remember he had 1 primer and he marked it on an earlier video.
Yep. Yeah, that was one of the ones that fell out, and then I had 4 more that had kind of fallen out after that. I don't know if I was checking particularly for those pieces, so those might have been loose prior to. But yeah, that one I marked certainly fell out.
Do you think that cartridge is just maybe the brass is not built for the pressure that it develops?
I don't know if it's that or if it's just the way that Federal brass is made. I've seen another video where a guy took Starline brass and he just, shot it, reloaded it. I think it was Ultimate Reloader was the video, the guy who did it. And I think he had 30% fallout after 3 or 4 shots, but then the rest of them went like 7 or 8, and then I think he had one that he shot 13 or 14 times, or maybe not even one, maybe 3 or 4 that he shot 13 times. So I think it just might be the brass itself.
How about annealing the brass? Would that help?
I don't know that that'll help with the primer pockets. It might help with some of the stress I'm seeing around the neck, but the primer pockets themselves, I don't know that the annealing would help at all. And I know some people are starting to like maybe take 6/8 brass and form it. They've got some good 6/8 brass, and those people are, better than I am to be able to do that. Nothing that I've tried, but so.
Yeah, Johnny's Reloading Bench just did a series on there's a modified name they've got with it.
Oh,
that was the 22 Nosgar.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Yeah. Yep. So, yeah, I'll be really curious to see where this whole brass thing goes with the 224. I don't know, just getting into this, I think the cartridge is obviously young, and I've never been involved in anything this young as far as the cartridge goes, and I don't know if it's just normal growing pains for the cartridge or what.
Chico has a question on the side chat. Librarian here.
I was just looking at that. Chico, that's a fairly easy answer, but it's a fairly detailed answer that would probably only interest folks that are actually authors of Reloaders Networks. I will definitely do that. I'll detail that out, but I'll get that out via Slack and via email. I'm taking a note down to get that out. I think we may bore the folks to death talking about that in this venue.
Hey, Ozark, did you have a winner in the Amigos, or you're going to make us wait?
Did I have a winner? But say I've got Ras. Here's one. If you see a problem there?
What did it say on there?
Well, I shot all the test loads suppressed and are unsuppressed, and then I turned around and shot them all suppressed except for one. I had keyholing on the Elvis
Lee.
missile.
The Lee. Me too. Yeah.
Yeah. I at 25 yards, when you have a 1/2-inch keyhole, I'm like, I'm not going to shoot that one through the can. I'm going to hold off on that.
Well, yeah, I had two that yawned on the target because all mine are on one page, and they were the Lee.
The hotter loads didn't keyhole, but the 3 lighter loads did. And they, they grouped okay, but I probably just not enough velocity to stabilize that big hunk of lead.
Those would be fun to see, but they look kind of like a boomerang.
Yep.
Well, the Missouris are even bigger, and they have no problem as far as what I was doing.
Well, I think part of it might have been just not enough pressure to get the bullet to, operate in the rifling well. It could be gas escaping around the side. Unless you can recover the bullets, there's no way to tell there. But the 2 hotter loads did not keyhole.
Yeah.
I've also found, Marvin, that the Lee 235R doesn't like powder coat. I don't know why, but if you tumble lude that bullet and cast it a little bit hard, for some reason it shoots much better.
Well, these were will weights, but also the first 3 loads weren't hot enough to operate my gun either. So, it was just light powder load.
I found that for me, what works with those is to cast them a little bit harder than normal. Be careful about how I drop them, quench them so that they don't bend when they hit the cloth when you drop them. and tumble lube them, and then they like 9.3, 9.4 of IMR 4227, and that's right at about 1050. I haven't shot them through the gas gun with the can. I've only shot them through the gas gun, 16-inch gas gun, unsuppressed, but that's a pistol gas, and they cycle very well. There's never been a reliability problem, and they also run fine in the 8.5-inch gun, both suppressed and unsuppressed, with that powder charge and stay subsonic.
Well, that was part of the whole gist behind our series was shooting them in different rifles. Jim shot it in a Ruger American, and Kyle shot it in an AR pistol, and I shot it in, I've got a Tavor. It's a long stroke piston. So we all had different, Kyle and I had different gas systems.
Yeah, I actually only shot 2 groups with the Ruger. All of it was an 8-inch AR pistol. Everything cycled perfect and shot pretty good on some. And the reason I didn't do the Ruger is it's 16-inch barrel and I'm at 7,000 feet, and that's all explained in the video. And then what I like and don't like about each bullet.
So has there been anything with that testing that has kind of surprised you yet?
Just the Lee. I don't have that mold, so I'm measuring up front at the band, and it's skinnier. The only meat on that bullet, at least the ones I had, were down by the near the base where it's now I can't even talk. You got to excuse me today.
It's like the last Tumbleweed ring is the only driving band. Yeah.
What am I looking for here? Come on. Where it's flared at the bottom. I can't even say that. Can't even think.
The boat tail?
The boat tail. The slight boat tail shouldn't be there. And, I talk about it in the thing, but up front where you're crimping it is skinnier. I was getting 206.5 diameter or something like that. That's ridiculous. So the Missouri and the NOE is perfect up front. So to crimp to. And they have a natural crimp area. So
right.
Now, can that be a mistake on the mold itself? That the upper is thinner than the bottom?
I would think if I want a subsonic 300 blackout bullet, I don't want a boat tail, and I want some meat where I'm seeding it or crimping it. So I did get a good group out of it on the last shot, but I changed the length and the powder.
I did have a misfeed in the Missouri bullet, and it's set back about 1/8 of an inch. So I didn't end up
That's
shooting
in the Tavor, though, right?
Correct.
Yeah, that's a different feed ramp type system.
Yeah. It's like a modified M4 type feed ramp. But the first 2 loads on it weren't hot enough to completely cycle the gun. And that's where I had that misfeed. Just there wasn't enough oomph behind the bolt. So
man, I was getting cycling down at 900 feet per second, which would probably be a lot faster. 9 something. It'd be a lot faster where you are.
Yeah, my bolt with that long throw piston, it's like almost like an AK type. So there's a lot more mass it's having to push back.
Yeah, it's going to want something hotter. I got you. It's going to be interesting to see what you guys come up with. Mine's ready and waiting. It's uploaded.
I finally got to. It's been a tough month, brother.
Me too.
Tough 6 weeks.
Yeah, it's fun though. I want to do 44 mag.
I wonder how far Kyle got him with his.
Kyle's done.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to have to step away for a few minutes, guys. I'm sorry. I'll be back.
Uh-oh.
See you, Marvin. Hey, Marvin, before you go, My son just brought this out and handed it to me and said, tell Ozark thank you. So thank you for the gift. I appreciate the card and the shake it anywhere.
You're welcome. I'll be back in a few minutes. Don't worry, guys.
Okay. Does it start with an S, what you're about to do?
Well, my wife's name starts with an S, but
no.
If I don't go to the dinner table, I'm going to be in trouble. So
Wait. I saw some people shaking their heads. That's not the S word we're looking at.
It's an S for supper.
No, it's not a swear word.
Are you talking about a screen?
This is a yes, dear moment, so I got to go.
I got one to say.
Uncle Jim, that first bull that was, I think it was Missouri, that you said you can't find a mold for that. Have you tried looking at Accurate Mold to see if they have one similar to that?
I'm sure there's something similar. Boy, I'd like to have that exact mold because
I wonder if you could submit one of those bullets and they could duplicate a mold for you.
Well,
I bet they could.
That could be copyright stuff right there. I don't know. Infringing on their.
What's the original bullet?
Well, it's called a 245 grain, but it really they come out in the 230. I was shooting 238s within 0.5 of a grain.
At least you can change those or something and make it your design, and everything else stays the same.
Yeah, they have a nice flat point and they thump. When they hit something, they really thump it. So even at subsonic. So I really like it.
Hey, Bear Behind the Triggers in the comments. Good to see you, brother. Tactical IT guy was curious if anyone has an opinion on the 7.62 by 25 Tokarev.
As far as what? You have a pistol, a CZ52, or a Tokarev?
He just want to know if you have an opinion, so I guess give an opinion on whatever you want.
Oh, man, that's dangerous.
Eek, that's a deep well.
I think it's a neat round. I used to play with that, and the surplus was really cheap. Never loaded for it. But it's a hot round, pretty accurate too. So it's a neat round. It's a precursor to a 357 SIG or something like that. You would, they were the best truck guns out there when they came out because they were cheap. They're like $100, and you just throw it in and it'll penetrate anything.
I've looked at 52s several times. The roller lockup mechanism is so interesting in them. A gun show I went to a while back, a guy had one that had both the Tokarev barrel and a 9 Luger barrel, and I almost bought it, but I just couldn't quite do it. I don't know why. I probably should have to have something to play with in that caliber, but I'm a little more intrigued with the shorter variant. I like 30 Mausers, so I'm going to have some stuff coming up on that eventually. I don't know exactly when, but I'm working on a project, and if I can get the machine work done the way I want to get it done, then that'll be something really interesting that I'll put on the channel, but I'm not sure if it'll come together.
They have Browning high powers in 30 Mauser, and on the CZ52s, a lot of people don't know. You might not even notice, but there's little tiny dots, and those are armorer's dots. Timothy, don't crack me up now.
Anyway, he says he is looking at a CZ52.
Okay, there's little tiny dots. Look for it. Like I think they were up around the front side. It's been a long time since I had one. And the more dots, the wives' tale is the less dots, the better it is. The less it's been serviced or whatever. So a lot of people don't know, and they're tiny dots. You have to look carefully. So little tidbit from Uncle Jim. Don't have I'm trying. I'm dying and I'm trying.
Well, we'll give you a quick breather. Kick it over to Tin Man. Just welcome him aboard. It's good to see you, brother.
Hey, how's it going, man? Good to be here. Thanks for having me.
And for the folks that aren't familiar, tin as in TIN, the metal, right?
Yes.
It's definitely better to be Tin Man than Zinc Man.
Very true.
Yeah, if you're Zinc Man, it'll knock you down.
Well, if I'm Zinc Man, people can find me a lot easier.
He's also Toilet Man because he has one right next to his loading. That's nice. Right there. Is that a shower too?
Yes.
Oh,
That's the dungeon shower.
you can shower next to reloading too.
Wash my brass and myself at the same time.
Was that
Yeah.
last night? I thought you had you had some facilities next to the reloading bench.
Yeah, that was. Hang on, I can't see myself here. Right over there. There's a crapper somewhere. You can see it.
I think
There it is.
that's the new plan. Get the Tin Man to show the toilet every live stream.
You got a pull chain on that thing. Huh?
No, that's the extension cord hanging from that light fixture right there that doesn't work.
Okay, don't let that get in the toilet.
Hey, looks like we got JH586 on board as well. Welcome aboard, Jamie.
Hey
Hey,
guys,
Jamie.
How's it going, Jamie?
pretty good. Can y'all hear me?
Yep.
Yep.
Yes.
I know you can't see me.
Are you hiding?
Yeah, the alcohol, tobacco, firearms, and explosives agent came by today, so I'm kind of trying to keep a low profile.
Uh-oh.
What?
He'd heard I'd been watching Uncle Jim live chats till 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. So I gave him your address and Tim's address.
Oh, well, thanks, Jamie.
He said we have it on reasonable suspicion that you are in possession of corn dust.
Oh,
I don't think we're supposed to look for bump stocks for another 90 days.
That's what they're looking for is unicorn dust.
unicorn
Unicorn
dust.
dust.
They're gonna ban bump unicorn stocks. Yeah.
I didn't know you had to have a class 3 for unicorn dust.
They need to go over to Kenny's house. He's the one that's got the glitter all over his bench.
He can't hide that. That's epoxied into his bench.
Guys, all of my devices are owned by my work. All of a sudden, my computer, my laptop, the camera doesn't work. My phone won't even get on Hangouts. I've tried 3 or 4 different accounts, so I'm gonna get my own Chromebook out here in a little while and try it. That has absolutely nothing to do with going through work, no permissions or anything, and it'll probably work.
There you go.
Well, Jamie, this isn't sounding so good because aren't you the IT guy at your work? And now, how does that all shake out?
I'm the low man on the totem pole in the IT department. I cannot be trusted to do anything but repair Chromebooks.
Oh boy!
Now you might have an echo.
Yeah.
Jamie, you've got excellent job security as long as Uncle Jim keeps doing live streams because someone's going to have to take care of that Chromebook for him.
I kind of think so, but my work it's a school system, which is obviously why they don't want me on Hangouts or whatever. But we have less than 10,000 students in the whole system, and we have over 15,000 Chromebooks in the system. So there's 1.5 Chromebooks to every person in the whole school system. So no pressure or anything.
Is that because so many of them break down? You got to have that many spares, or?
Man, I can repair about 30 of them in a day, and we hover around 100 broken. We have a readout of all of them that's broken. And Ozark, what is that animal doing to that bobcat?
That's my reindeer mount. He's mounting the bobcat.
That's a reindeer mount, all right.
Thought I'd seen everything. But I'm disappointed my camera won't work because I was wanting to get on here with Curtis and do an unboxing.
Oh, that would be awesome. Well, get that Chromebook fired up, and if it doesn't work, Uncle Jim will help you.
Okay. y'all carry on. I'm gonna go get the other Chromebook.
Okay, yeah, that'd be awesome. A live unboxing. That'd be awesome.
Okay, let me see what I can do.
Bolt Action Reloading was asking what's Big Man's plans going forward with the 224 Valkyrie.
Oh, okay. So I'm still working up load development. My goal is really to take it out as far as I can, but I got a lot of work just as myself as a shooter and to developing rounds. So I'm starting to get somewhere with some loads. Playing at 100 yards now. My next step would be out to the 350 mark and see if I can do anything there, and then maybe out to 700, and then see if I can find somewhere where I can shoot 1,000. But like I said, this is going to be a process because there's a lot that goes into it, and I don't even know if I'm that good. So
what's your previous stuff?
Say that again. Sorry, you broke up a little bit there.
What's your previous experience with long range stuff, or is this your first venture into long range?
This is it. First venture. I mean, out here in eastern PA, when we go deer hunting, I live in the foothills of the Appalachians, so you're shooting maybe 150. In-laws have a farm, so you can get down there, and unfortunately don't get to hunt down there a lot. So you might be able to get 300-400 down there in some of the fields, but this is the first foray. So I'm just curious to see. It's a test, test of shooting skill, reloading skill. Maybe I'll get there, maybe I won't. Just have to see where it goes.
Well, you shot some good groups in your previous. I haven't seen your latest video yet. Under the weather today. But,
well, thank you. I'm just trying. We'll see where it goes.
I keep asking you, are you using a stock trigger? Creepy trigger.
It might. Yes, I'm using the mil-spec trigger at the moment. It's just what I have. Maybe someday I'll look into something more expensive as far as a trigger goes, but just working within the confines of my budget, I guess. My wife would kill me if I started buying everything I wanted to buy.
Yeah, that might take out a little bit on the testing to take some of the factor out, because sometimes those swoop creeps can catch you when you're off guard,
Mm-hmm. Yep, for sure. Yep.
And $75 you can get a decent 2-stage, or there's a lot of triggers out there that are iffy, that feel really good, but down the road they might double on you. So just kind of look for feedback on triggers.
Yep. Good to know for sure.
Bless you.
Bless you.
Did you notice I didn't have the little dummy, but you didn't see my lips move when that happened.
Well, the good part is you didn't have to move when that happened. So
I think I was the one that had the family member sneezing last night.
Yeah, last night. Yep.
That one sounded a little wet too.
You were the ventriloquist last night. Yeah.
It works better when you have a beard that covers your mouth.
Yes, it does.
Reloader, dude, I don't know if he's still on, but he jumped on and wanted to say hi before he has to run away. It's great to see you, brother.
Where you see him at?
In the side chat here. At this point, it's about 15 comments ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Okay. I thought it moves pretty fast.
I like him. He's got some really good videos.
Somebody's asking. Actually, Tactical IT Guy, he's got some great questions tonight. He's curious if anyone's heard anything good, bad, or otherwise with, I'm guessing it's Fiocchi primers.
Mm-hmm.
Sees them on sale and 5,000 count from time to time. I've never used those. Anybody here use those?
No, I've never used it.
I did back in the 90s, and I never had a lick of trouble with Fiocchi's.
Yeah, he should be good to go, especially if it's a good price. I haven't loaded them. I've shot lots of shotgun shells with them in there, but should be fine.
Everybody seems to say pretty good things about him in the side chat.
It wouldn't surprise me if they make a 209, but they make a rifle and pistol as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. It's like an SB.
That you can find like Fiocchi or any other brands of primer in my location. All you see is CCI in Winchester and Remington. That's it.
Yeah, I don't even see Remington, but I got a tiny little gun store. Tiny.
Yeah.
Both Reloader Dude and Georgia Boy 44 are saying positive things about the Fiocchi primers, so I would trust that advice. If the two of them say they're okay, I'd be willing to give them a try based on that recommendation.
Creeker is too. He's another fairly recent addition to the Reloaders Network authors. Actually,
now they're saying that Georgia Boy's opinion doesn't count because he likes grits.
Hey, whoa.
That's just hurtful. That's just hurtful.
Whoa.
Bad, no.
Hey,
There
Curtis,
are those instant grits.
Curtis, why don't you pick us out a name here out of the side chat of somebody that's not a Reloaders Network author?
I think, isn't Tin Man a Curtis too? So who are you talking to?
Yeah, that's kind of confusing, but no.
It's a fine name. That's the finest name I've heard all night.
I don't care which one.
It was the Moops, Curtis. It was the Moop.
Who invaded Spain in the 18th century?
That's funny. You know, I've had several employment positions where my name matched somebody else's, and they even when my middle name matched someone else's last name, they want you to pick a new name. And yeah, I was in the service, so we had lots of nicknames we went by and things. But it's like, you know, it's not uncommon for people to have the same name. I mean, get over it.
You know, when I was a kid and was going to a certain church, there was 3 of us, Tim Robinsons, and we'd go to the library and check out books, and the librarian was going nuts.
Start having to use middle initials.
Yeah, I had to, that's why I started using my middle name on certain things.
JH586.
Hey, coming back. I'm scrolling
There he is.
here, and I'm not seeing anyone that I don't recognize. John Waugh, is John Waugh a regular? I haven't seen that name. He's got a little, like a taco dog in his icon there. He says grits are good, though, so should he get a prize if he thinks grits are good?
Idaho Rogers USMC says he's never eaten a grit.
We got the Silver Biker. Is he new or?
He likes shrimp and grits.
Now you say that. Silver Biker, I was making fun of him as he jumped on because he was late and was wondering what he missed, and I told him we already gave away a car. So since I was harassing him.
He doesn't want a car, he's a biker.
Speaking of
Riker, get me your mailing address, and I'm going to send you a coffee mug in a patch.
Excellent.
I'll throw my email address up here.
Jamie's back and he has video. He must have called Uncle Jim for some Chromebook help.
Heck
There we go.
yeah.
We'll know as soon as if he echoes, we know he called Uncle Jim.
You got that right.
But when you get the mug and the patch, you got to do a rock in the patch video.
Speaking of grits and shrimp, Kyle, you still owe me a video.
John Wass says he's been around some. He just doesn't comment a lot. Maybe you and I should become better friends because I tend to be opposite of that. I show up and talk too much.
Oh, John Wass been around for a while. Another of many outstanding people.
Chico Wise says he's new.
He's too dirty to be new.
He's in the side chat seeking deals. He wants to know if you want anything.
It's still Black Friday for him. He's still shopping.
He gets 10%
He's from
off
the dirty
Reloaded
blue
Network.
Well, Jamie's back. I'm excited to have him do his show and tell. I want to see it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can we
Jamie, over to you.
Can we lock the camera on him, James?
Don't do that. Everybody's stuff will break. Curtis, you know better than anybody what's in there. I've not even taken a good look at it yet.
You'll heal.
Okay.
Did that lock his screen for everyone or just for me?
Just for you, I think.
Just you.
I got this in the mail from this fellow named William C. Chapin. And I think it was came in Friday or Saturday. And let's open it up, see what's in here. We got a folder. Extremely deplorable.
That's what the ATF was looking for.
Okay, I'm glad my wife's not in here. I'm sure she would agree with that I'm totally deplorable. We have a 2012 aeronautical chart of Michigan. And I'm going to study that sucker. Not that I fly or have ever been to Michigan. We also have a state transportation map. Are you hinting, Curtis? We need to come to Michigan on vacation.
That would be fine.
That's a road trip package right there.
I'm telling you what. And there's something else I want to say right quick, like that. I refuse to call those the Great Lakes because they're actually freshwater inland seas. They're too big to be lakes. I think most. And I got a note. Should I read the note, Curtis?
Yes, you may.
Jamie, enjoy your Mausers and share the candy with your granddaughter. Regards, Curtis. Thank you, sir. And I got a sack of hard candy for the little girl. And she'll be here tomorrow and probably stay all the way through Christmas because we don't have very many presents under our tree, but most of them are hers. Here's a little bag. There's some Mauser brass. We'll just grab there's 4 green bubble wrap packages in here.
That'll keep you entertained for a few hours.
Yeah, RCBS. And on the end it says neck die set, 8mm by 57 Mauser. Look at there. I got dies, boys. Hey, the most important thing for me, it has instructions.
Weren't you supposed to wait till Tuesday to open all this stuff up?
Look at those dies. Well, Curtis said I could open it now, so That's a good looking die, man.
There it is.
Yeah, when he did that video, I went to the website. Gone. There was nothing left.
Yeah, that video of Curtis unboxing all that stuff he got from Palmetto.
Yeah, yes.
I did too.
It's not a stock.
There was like nothing.
Did you catch all the subliminal messages he threw in that video?
Barely. Curtis is sick, man. And there's a box of PPU. I'm assuming this is brass, right, Curtis?
Yes, that's brass.
Oh, and look at them. That's beautiful.
They have the pictures with the secret stuff in them.
I'm glad we're getting to do this tonight. Here's another one. Only one more. Oh, man, check that out. Old school Remington stuff. Curtis,
Nice.
how old is this box?
You know, I don't know how to date those. I mean, oddly enough, Jamie, I got those at the range. A guy shot him. He had a rifle and he shot him and he didn't want the brass and he offered them to me and I said, sure. You know, and I just brought them home and they've been sitting on the shelf for. I only got them maybe a year and a half ago. It hasn't been that long.
And that is so cool. Look at that, guys. The old red style writing. I remember these from when I was a little kid, man. That's been a ways back. No comments.
Before Chromebooks, huh?
Yeah, I think so.
I believe it was 4 books.
I knew it was the Emperor was going to have something to say about it. And this is the last one. Tim always likes to point out that I'm older than he is. He likes it.
That's only because you look so much better than I do, JB.
That's not so.
Well, say, what Jesus sound like in person?
I couldn't understand him. He spoke Aramaic.
Didn't have subtitles like the movie.
He couldn't understand you because you're from the South. Oh.
He likes grits.
He talked too
Really
fast.
likes grits, especially with bacon in them. There's what is that one? That is
Full length sizer.
full length sizer. Okay, so we got neck sizer and a full length sizer. And those RCBS, that's some good looking dies. Now I've got RCBS and 38 and 357 Magnum, but these are the only. Wait a minute, my 30-06 may be RCBS, but I'm not sure. I'd have to dig them out to check. But I think they are RCBS too. But these are just really they look another. Just to look at them, they look another notch above what I'm used to in the Lee stuff.
My only advice with RCBS dies is always use lube. Don't be too light on the lube.
Curtis, I can't thank you enough, brother.
Well, Jamie, you're a inspirational presence in our book, or in our group. I've heard you say so many wise things to a lot of the folks here, and you know you're such a humble, gentle guy, and it's just a joy to have you as a friend. And I hope you enjoy those 2 rifles because it's something that we're all going to look forward to seeing. And when we see you do it with a smile on your face and all that, it's worth every video I watch of you. I really enjoy, just what a kind soul you are. So anything I can do to help, please let me know and I'll take care of it.
Well, I appreciate that very much. Those are very kind words that I'm not worthy of, brother, but I appreciate it.
You're definitely worthy of it. And I think everyone here would say, I've always heard you thinking about everyone else whenever you talk. You're never thinking about Jamie, and it's something I can learn. So I think about myself a little too often. So I would, it's refreshing to see someone that's as humble as you are and always has such kind kind advice, kind words. You try to help everyone, and that's really admirable, and that's why I like to help you out.
Well, I appreciate it more than I can say. That's not all true, Curtis. You're thinking of somebody else, or I wouldn't be sitting here opening this box, bro.
Yeah, that's not true. Anybody's ever come across JH586 knows that man is one of the biggest hearts around, and it's the heart of a servant.
I appreciate it. And I see all these guys unboxing, and I see I get so many Christmas cards and wish I could do the same for everybody, but those days are coming. I got some temporary setbacks going on right now. So.
And we're dancing.
Answer the phone. But guy, I do appreciate it. I appreciate y'all bearing with me to do this unboxing on here, so I don't bug all y'all with another video. So I appreciate it very much.
All right.
Thanks
Some Reloader asking what are the YouTube names. So again, real quick, we've got JH586.
That's me.
Ocean 374, correct?
Yes.
We've got Ozark Spirit. Politically Correct Bullet Empire.
That's me.
Big Man's Outdoors. Tin Man. Uncle Jim. And Mr. William C. Chapin.
And just out of curiosity, when I talk, does it say Tin Man on my name, or does it say Curtis? I thought I changed it to Tin Man. Could be
Yours
wrong.
is saying Tin Man.
Yeah,
Perfect.
say 10.
Yep.
You can be
Thank you.
Curtis. They can call me William or Chap or whatever else. So
No, that's fine.
you can be. Curtis is my middle name, and that's what I usually. The way the story goes is my mom wanted to name me after my father, and my father didn't like his middle name, so I guess she said, "Fine, pick one." And so,
It's a good name, man.
I agree 100%. It served me well.
Mine's with a K, so it's not quite as good.
Well,
It's a
there
little
you
bit
go.
further in the alphabet.
Now, when you change that name over to Tin Man, now when you send an email, does it just show up as Tin Man or your actual name?
See, I was wondering that too. I was wondering if I send something to my work from my personal email, if it shows up as Tin Man or my name. So my coworkers will say, "Who is this?" I'm not sure.
Well, Jamie, thanks for unboxing that on the live stream. That was a lot of fun. We should do that more often with somebody doing something like that and things. But don't ever think you're not worthy, Jamie. That's not a thought that should even cross your mind. You're so gracious to everyone, and have fun with it.
Well, thank you so much, and we will. I have learned since my buddy from the Dirty South, Mr. Chico Wise, gave me this book right here, which I will read cover to cover. Yeah, right. You can make 8mm Mauser brass out of 30-06 and 270, but you've got to have a brass reamer to ream the brass out, and I'll be checking into getting myself one of those bad boys. But and it's going to be fun to do and fun to learn. But do I really want to sacrifice 30-06 and 270 brass? I mean, I've got plenty of 30-06. I could do that.
I can probably scrape up more brass too, Jamie.
Well, James said he's going to send me some, so that'd be cool. And I have a box of those PPU rounds, and I have I've got this 50 cal can that's full of military surplus, but I think there's some 8mm rounds in it. But I think mostly what that is 7.62 by 54R for my Finnish M39 Mosin, which I've not shot on camera either. I need to get into doing some videos about that. That is a fine rifle.
You guys were mentioning the RCBS dies earlier. Lone Wanderer 360 says he can't figure out why his RCBS dies keep crushing the shoulder on his 357 SIG.
Too much lube.
Is that
Yeah.
his seat and die?
Yeah, is he talking about the seating die or the full length sizer?
Not sure.
Because if it's a seating die, he's got his crimp out of time.
I agree.
Yeah, I've said before that you cannot seat your bullet and crimp in the same process. Those have got to be separated.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do the same. I should do it separated because together it makes
Yeah.
it faster.
Because this happens.
Yep.
He's
Not-
saying it's the sizing die. Sorry.
Yeah. Put that in the cup of the shame.
Yeah, it
If
must have too much
if
lube.
he's wrinkling the shoulders on his sizing die, that's usually an indication of too much lube
Yeah.
or lube's built up in the die.
Yeah, there could be some gunk up in the die.
Yeah, clean that hole on the side.
Yep, the vent hole. That's good advice.
Hey, good advice.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
GNPC send you some toilet paper, but it's got glitter on it, so be
Yeah,
No, I sent him some of that John Wayne toilet paper.
That's what kind we get at work, man.
Yeah, I'm telling you, yeah, we got the same at work too.
Have you seen the Hillary paper? Oh, so funny.
Yes.
Major and Grains has shown up and he wants to know what he's missed. Says we should start from the top.
Jamie has to put everything back in the box then.
Yeah, this is true.
Bacon gave away a pickup truck, Mig. You missed that. You'll have to rewatch the video to see that one.
Was that a King Ranch edition?
3/4 ton. Yes, sir.
Sorry if y'all hear me typing. I'm a loud typer.
Well, Bacon, what do you got in the works? We've done a round robin.
Oh my goodness. It's been an interesting couple of months. So I was out of country for about 6 months and I came back and I think I've only been to the range 3 times since then. And I got back in early September.
Gosh, the dogs must miss you.
Things changed a bit here on the home front and then work changed a bit. And now, so I think I'm getting it sorted out. I think life's starting to stabilize a bit, but I worked up some, I cast up some round balls for my 44, my 45. And I've been to the range and shot some single and duplex loads in 44 special. And I shot some single and duplex loads in 45 Colt. And I've got pieces of video that still have to be put together to get those out, but those are coming eventually. I'm hoping here the next day or two to get out a video response to the Kentucky Patriot. He had done one in response to PEX 2A America about winter carry. You know, do you vary what you carry EDC during the winter versus the summer months? And then he had tagged me and someone else in it. So I've got like many projects, that's half done, but I'm hoping to have that out here the next day or two. But, that and I keep trying to make little tweaks and improvements to the Reloaders Network website. So, you know, to me, it's more important to make sure other people's content is featured and out there. There's so much good content out there.
Now, do you reload for any rifle? I've been seeing you do handguns only.
I reload for 30-06 and for 243. I have an AR-15 that I have not ever. It was recently acquired, and I have not loaded for it yet, but I will be.
Okay.
Have you been doing anything with shotgun? Didn't you get a shotgun set up?
So I have a Taurus Judge, and so I started casting some triple out buck that I plan on loading in 410.
Mm-hmm.
And then I found a really cheap used 12 gauge reloader, and so I will get into shotgun, but I haven't yet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's one thing that I think would be cool to do as well.
Now, Bacon, when you shoot those two balls, do you worry about them separating and smacking one another in your barrel?
Tim, that's just.
I'm being serious.
That's over.
I'm not talking about a split frame. I'm talking about will it handle it?
That is the worst when they smack each other around.
Good night, everybody.
They come apart and they smack together.
No, in fact, I can tell you the single ball loads. It was hard to get a good consistent crimp, because the contact area on a round ball is so minuscule.
Right.
That I put them all over a chronograph, and the duplex load had really good standard deviation. The single ball loads did not. And at about 7 yards, those duplex loads were opening up 1.5 inches, maybe 2 inches. But no, they worked out really well.
Yeah, I used to do that in my my 32 H&R mag, and I had good luck with them. But I always did kind of worry about them, compressing together. But it seemed to not do that.
I think. I guess there could be an issue there, but I can't foresee one. I think the back one's basically pushing the front one out, and they're lead balls. So,
yeah.
Yeah, I always thought of that. Like one end up coming out, the other one stays inside. I never tried it because I always had that fear of that ever happening. I don't know if it will happen or not. But...
Well, with some Trail Boss in the 44 Special. Some of those single ball loads I had coming out at 125 feet a second. I don't recommend that,
yeah.
But there is such little contact area with that round ball. It would be extremely difficult to get one of those stuck in the barrel. I definitely wouldn't say impossible, but the likelihood's pretty low compared to other cast bullets.
Right.
Well, now, didn't the full lead Taco, didn't he shoot button bullets too?
Yeah, he had some collar button loads that he used.
Yeah.
He uses a factory crimp die to crimp instead of a roll crimp in the pistol caliber, which makes sense considering it's a round ball.
So I just picked up, I've got it laying here in front of me. I've got a 45 Colt crimp die that's what do we call it? The Call It style. I got a Call It style 45 Colt crimp die that I'm going to be trying out in addition to my roll crimp, just to see what kind of difference that makes.
I've been looking forward to that, Bacon. I would like to see that. I've seen those in the catalog. They've had the one for 357 SIG for a while. Being that a normal carbide factory crimp die can't be made for that caliber with a shoulder, but the 357 and the 45 and the 44 Magnum. What I didn't understand is why they didn't do one for the real Magnum pistol calibers, like 454 Casull or 480 Ruger, 460 Smith, 500. Those are the ones that need it too, to get a good heavy side crimp on bullets that may not be suitable for a roll crimp.
Well, I don't know about all those, but I'd imagine this 45 Colt could be used on that 454.
You may have to put some sort of a spacer below it, because the way those work is they jam that tapered collet up into the die body. So on the longer cartridge, you wouldn't make contact with the shell holder with the collet before.
Yeah. I haven't pulled this out and put it in the die yet. So I received it, but that's as far as I've gone with it so far. And then eventually, I need to get my hollow point testing started back up again as well.
Yeah, I had a question for you about that hollow point testing. When you were firing your cast bullet loads that you had powder coated into that ballistics gel, was most of your powder coating still on the bullet where it had contacted the rifling of your barrels, or was any of it worn off, or how did that hold up?
Yeah, most of it was on there. In fact, I still have all of them. And most of those you can see glimpses of in the pictures, but I've got pretty good pictures of all of them. I've never had an issue with a powder-coated bullet causing any leading. I'm not saying it won't. I just haven't experienced it. Right. But I've always made sure my bullets fit well before. But I will say with my Bulldog, the throats and the that one I really should be using like a 434 bullet in. I'm using a 430 and powder coated, and it works just fine.
Cool, good to know. Yeah, fitment is one of your key factors. That's one of your big ones.
Yeah, the rest of my 44s all like the 430 bullet. I just went on ahead and used the 430 bullet in that Bulldog, and I've never had issue.
Cool.
I'm glad you said Bulldog. And I got this thing today from a friend who wants me to fix it. Little 38 snub nose, and it is locking up. Can y'all see that?
Yep.
It only goes back that far.
Yeah,
So I got to dig into this thing and see what's making that lock up like that.
Is that a Smith?
No, this is a Charter Arms.
All right. I've got a video out there on pulling the Charter Arms revolver apart, and it should be, just because mine's Bulldog, it should be just about the same.
Well, this is called the Undercover 38 Special.
I like the snub nose, but the only thing I don't like is that they don't put an actual sight for rear. They just cut a channel into the frame.
I kind of, Julio.
The bad guy's usually not over 10 yards. Something with the one.
Yeah.
Julio, I kind of like the trough. Is that Tin Man talking? What?
What?
Try the toilet flushing.
See, Uncle Jim says he likes the trough. A toilet flush would be appropriate.
For a carry gun, I like the trough. It's non-snaggy. And I don't know what front sight you're talking about, but you put some color on that front sight, and that trough will just. And so I like them both, but I prefer the trough on the Model 10s and the snubs.
Yeah, I think Charter Arms came out with I think they called it the Boomer, which is the Bulldog, but with an even shorter barrel. It's got I think they even drilled a couple holes in the top of the barrel, and it doesn't have a front sight.
The Boomer.
I used to work for Charter Arms, and I never liked it. Well, at that time, I didn't ever like the quality on it. Well, I guess now they're different owners now. Maybe their quality has changed.
Yeah, Charter Arms, their ownership's changed 4 or 5 times.
Right. But when I was with them, oh, man, it was terrible. Very terrible.
Well, I will say we had a lot of guns come back in the 38 357 snub, and that was probably late 90s.
Yeah, there's some forums out there where you can go read and look at the markings, or if you know what year it's produced, and there's some pretty good intel on there about which ones to go ahead and look for and which ones to stay away from. And it's been couple years since I bought mine, but it seemed from everything I was reading that the best reports on the Charter Arms were from very recent years. The most recent run, it's kind of like the opposite of Marlin or one of those companies. It's kind of Remington in reverse. They started out horrible and managed to survive through several different owners, and now they're finally getting their act together.
Yeah, but sounds about right what Uncle Jim says. I was with Charter Arms maybe about 89 to 90s, and they had a lot of issues at that time. It was bad quality.
Yeah, and you'd see them locked up like what Jamie's playing with right now.
Right.
Actually, Jamie, do a search on that, and you'll probably find the solution real easy.
Probably.
Hey, Jamie, if you go to my channel and look at the most popular videos, it's like my third or fourth most popular video is a complete teardown and put back together of a Charter Arms revolver.
I've seen that video. I've watched it, and something in my mind when he was handing me that pistol to work on was saying that I know there's some information somewhere. I don't believe I'd have took it.
I'll also tell you too, don't take apart the cylinder release button on the side. Don't take that screw out unless you absolutely have to, because there's a little tiny spring in there that's smaller than what the human eyes intended to see, and it flies.
They like to fly, don't they?
And it's funny you should bring that up, because as I sit here and just handle this gun, that screw is almost backed all the way out. So the first thing I'm going to do is find the screwdriver that fits it and tighten that up. That may be the problem. Can't never tell.
You know you don't want to mess with it when they sell a special tool specifically for reassembling that part.
Yeah.
Now, can you see the strut at the bottom of the hammer? Take the grips off and look. I've never messed with Charter Arms. I'm a Smith guy, but check and see if that's bound up somehow from the mainspring. Just go from the back end up, and that's how you want to investigate it. So the strut on up, but it's not carrying up; it's locked up. So again, we just sent them back. I never played with the Charter Arms inside. Smith & Wesson, I can tell you anything about that.
Well, you know I just love Smith & Wesson stuff. But Oceans, I do have this one too. This is the EAA Vindicator or Windicator. It's a 4-inch, 38-357. And the reason I bought this was I watched this channel called God, Family, and Guns. Do you guys ever watch him?
Yes.
And yes. He really likes these things. But his was a snub nose, and I bought the 4-inch. And I remember when I did a video about this, Bacon commented that I'm going to love a 4-inch Smith & 357 Magnum. So I have this one in 4-inch. I have my Smith 586 in a 6-inch, and I have a Taurus M605 in the 2-inch. That thing's hard to shoot. I'm telling you, you put 357 Magnum shells in that little Taurus, and that thing kicks like a 44 Magnum.
Yeah, all that powder explodes right in front of your muzzle.
Yeah, it seems to. It seems like it's got a fireball a foot in diameter, but this one has those fixed sights. And you know, when you got a gun that's got fixed sights, this one shoots low and to the left. Y'all may have seen it some on my videos. I don't really know what to do about that.
I just high and to the right.
I asked for that, didn't I? Oh, and Ozark, by the way, thank you. I got your package too. We just do all my unboxings, and everybody, I did a whole pork loin, and it was like, I think it was 10 pounds. I did a whole back quarter, hind quarter. It was close to 10 pounds, at least 8 pounds. And you know what I brought home? Today was my family Christmas party. Nothing.
I was going to say, you brought home the dirty dish, didn't you?
That's right.
I brought home the dirty dish. We have.
So did you use that or the possum salt on it?
I need to send, since you brought that out, I need to say thank you to Preacher, too. I still have not received his package, but he sent it, and he sent a tracking number, and he mailed that thing to me on the 14th, and it's not gotten here yet.
Wow.
Somebody else is eating possum.
Yeah.
Somebody else saying, "What is this?"
That's right. Possum salt.
Somebody in
Bacon.
Little Rock.
Yeah.
Bacon, have you noticed we got 2 Chromebooks going and not one Echo?
Kim, why'd you have to say that?
Yeah, now you went and jinxed it.
Jim, why'd you have to
Echo. Echo. Echo.
Jim, why'd you have to say that? Echo.
I'm knocking on wood, buddy.
I was waiting for San Francisco Jerry to comment.
I don't know where Jerry is.
Last I saw, Kyle was fixing the new chicken wings.
Yeah, I saw him in the chat here for a while. Hey, for those of you that are praying, folks, Bigger Behind the Trigger a few minutes ago said he has to probably step out because they just had a shooting next door and his house got hit by a few rounds.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Sounds like he's probably all right, but he may have to talk to the police here pretty soon.
Holy cow.
Oh, man.
That's not good at all.
No.
It's probably caused by them turkey thugs in his yard.
Yeah. I was going to say they were turkey hunting, Timothy, so we've seen the same video.
67 Rebel SST AMCs here.
AMC. You got to say it like that. AMC.
That must be a Utah accent. That doesn't flow off my tongue that way.
Oh, come on. That's AMC.
We'll get you to move to Arkansas. We'll get some twang in you.
Actually, I think it's from the Pacific Northwest.
I spent some time in Washington, and I don't talk that way.
Can you be West Covina Dutch? That took me for
Well, Covina's a place. It's funny that everyone didn't understand, you know.
Well, when I saw his name, I thought it was West Cove in a Dodge.
I thought it was Covenant.
Oh, looks like Kyle is here with his wings.
Well, folks, I had about 2 carloads of teenagers just roll into my house, so I'm going to run and entertain some kids. Looks like
those aren't the guys that roll. Those guys aren't the guys that rolled up the Bigger Behind the Trigger, are they?
No. But my internet's about to go to crap with 11 teenagers in the house.
Oh, yeah.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Thanks,
Merry
Mark.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Mark.
Pleasure to chat with you.
See you, Ozark.
Hey, the reloading press is here now too. We're gonna have to mind our manners. Yeah, the other half of the team showed up.
Thought I just heard Willie.
Oh, no, I think that was Ocean's chair.
Yeah, his chair squeaks.
It sounded just like Willie.
Really?
Yeah, I keep forgetting to put WD-40 on. I'm too lazy.
Squeak it and pride. Give it a name.
Oh, Nathan was incognito. He's been here all along. He seems as though they're in the same vicinity as each other. No hands.
I kind of wondered that.
No wonder he hasn't been typing. His hands are busy.
Bigger, where are you living? I'm only asked because all of a sudden I'm hearing sirens out my window.
Hey, there's Kyle Lusk.
Yeah,
Kyle's chicken winging it.
So, Jamie, while you're on here, let me ask before folks start disappearing, are you guys having the Georgia chat next week, being we're right in the middle of Christmas and New Year's?
Yes, sir.
Oh, outstanding.
We're planning to, and the only reason I say that, Nathan's in the side chat, and Loaded Cap Gun has already sent me a topic, which I'll have to do some research on, and that they're talking about range etiquette. So I know how I act at the range, and I know how I expect other people to act, but that's not always what goes on at the range.
The range I shoot at now, the very first time I went there, I had a lady point her 22 at me. I think 3 times before I disappeared.
Wow.
I really wanted to say something, but she was at least 90. And her husband, that was probably older, was helping her out. And so I just waved and smiled and disappeared.
Yeah, that was going on at the range I was at this morning. I got done, and I was wanting to go get my target, but to my right was, I think it was a brother and sister teaching their mom how to shoot, and she kept turning around with her finger on the trigger, talking to them, and they're going, "No, Mom, don't do that." You know, and then on my left, I've got some cocky guy over here just pulling a pistol up at the 50-yard line while other guys are shooting a rifle and shooting his pistol, you know, and then he's giving everybody an attitude like, what? You know, and it's like, I can't get out of here fast enough.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't win any popularity contests, and it's kind of nerdy, but whenever I work with someone who's not, someone who's a beginner or who isn't comfortable yet, I only let them chamber 1 round at a time, because invariably you're standing somewhat beside them and trying to show them something. And when they have a question, they instinctively turn towards you, and the gun comes with them, you know, and it's like,
yep.
So a lot of times what I'll do is I'll put 1 bullet in a magazine, you know, and have them practice putting the magazine in and do their shooting, and then they have to clear it and lay it down, and you know, and then everybody knows that that it's safe, you know, because the slides back, you know, and revolvers even, I put only 1 in there until I know that they're not going to turn around and point the thing at me.
Yeah, no, in my indoor range, they have about 13 stalls, and when you're in the size of you is they have those diamond plates that they have there that they use for running boards on the pickup truck, something like similar to that. There's a hole in one of them the size of a .45 caliber in it. And I looked on the opposite side to see if it went through, and that sucker never went through. That's crazy.
Probably somebody doing just that had their hand and then they spun around to say something. And,
or
whoops.
they went to, rack the slide, and then instead of facing it forward, they face it to the side. And they're looking, never went to the other end. That's crazy.
Scary.
You know, and the other thing that happens, you know, where I shoot a lot, it's an outdoor club, so we have a lot of families, and you get people that have joined the club to do things, and they invariably go and take a CCW class. And I don't know who Joe Tacticool is that teaches the CCW classes, that shows them all these weird stances and hollering at them about elbows up and this and that and the other. And so you watch someone who's about the age of my mother out there, and she's at the range practicing, and she's got this strange stance and all this stuff. I'm like, oh my gosh, you know, just be comfortable, be yourself, like you're talking to the target. You should present to the target in your normal mannerisms, because that's what you're going to be when you need to draw the pistol. You know, so just be yourself, whatever's comfortable, align the sights and make your shots. And I don't know what some of these people teach, but it's crazy what they do. These people come to the range, oh, my instructor said this. Is like, okay.
It's all this crazy stuff they see on YouTube. These guys that have YouTube channels are corrupting the world.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Well, and part of it too depends on the range you're at. You know, range etiquette. You go to Uncle Jim's range, I think etiquette is you mark your initials in the snow before you start shooting.
Absolutely.
Well, you know, I look like a nerd when I'm shooting because I look like a nerd in real life. So, I mean, there's no difference, you know? So, I mean, my mannerisms on the range are the same as my mannerisms are any other place. It's, you know, it's what's comfortable to you and, you know, whatever posture. You know, one of the examples I used, someone said, well, you have to, this guy's talking to me about the Weaver stance versus isosceles. And I'm like, what are you comfortable? How do you see the sights the best? You know, how do you feel? You know, and he's like, well, you have to do this. I said, wait a minute. You know, think of professional baseball players. They hit a baseball better than anybody. And there isn't two of them that use the same stance in the batting box. You know, so are there some fundamentals that you should try to master? Yes, I agree. And, you know, it's kind of a combination of what a lot of different people have taught me over time. But I really like, I've watched a lot of Rob Latham videos, and I think he knows what he's talking about. And he says, just keep the sights aligned. Other than that, you know, be yourself and be safe, you know, and you'll be fine. So it's, you know, I don't subscribe to one being better than the other, because who am I to say I shoot the way that I'm comfortable and others should do the same?
I try to take stance tips from Jerry Mikulak. That's about the only guy I'll listen to.
He's all about vision, you know, and he's smart because he's back to isosceles, and his videos are funny because he'll say, you know, back in the 80s when we thought we knew everything, we did this Weaver stuff and blah, blah, blah. But he spends a lot of time talking about vision, and that's, you know, I'm 50 now. I wear bifocals, and if you shoot anything other than isosceles with the handgun up high, you can't see the sights. That's the only option, really, and that's what he teaches. You know, handgun in front of you, use both eyes. You're in a conversation with your target. Hands, you know, he's very hands-oriented and vision-oriented. So I do like his training.
That guy's got huge hands, too. I think he can palm a picnic table.
And if you watch him, he's got tremendous dexterity. His fingers bend at all the joints. If you watch him when he's talking, his fingers bend, and I think he can bend them at will at any way, and I don't even think he thinks about it. You just watch, he's just excellent dexterity.
Muscle memory.
3 million trigger pulls will do that.
So, big man, you're not saying much, dude. Your channel is Big Man _S Outdoors.
Yes, sir. Yep.
All right, I just went and subbed you, man.
Well, thank you. Yeah, no, I'm just listening to all this range stuff. I'm lucky. I can shoot about 200 yards out my back door, so that's about as far as I need to go for most of it.
Nice.
That's nice.
Chap, I just want to mention I talk to my targets a lot too. Well, from you.
Well, you know, you and I are both conversationalists, so I don't find that unusual that you would say that. I do talk to targets, you know, and it's really funny because I practice some defense stuff that I've learned here and there and the other, and one of the things is conversation. If I have to engage a person, one of my best things I can do, especially if he's already got the upper hand on me, distraction is your friend. So, you know, hey Steve, I'm glad you're here, you know, and get the guy to look to the side. You know, I think keeping your cool is the biggest thing if you ever have to be in a nasty situation. Maybe we should talk to Willie about that. It sounds to me like he might be pretty good at that. He whips up guys at McDonald's with his cane, so he obviously is able to keep his wits about him. So I've never been in a real engagement. I've trained a fair amount, and I've got some family members that have done an excessive amount of it. So I try to learn from it, and I hope that if I ever have to rely on my instincts and skills, that I make wise choices in that split second that I'm presented with, because if there's any way that I can weasel out of the situation, that'll always be my first choice. But, you know, if I ever have to, you know, engage someone, I hope that I can be as comfortable as I am with a target.
Yeah, I agree with Clint. You got to be dog-ass mean.
Off my lawn.
But yeah, I talk to the target, I talk to the gun, I talk to the ammo, man, anything that's around. But you guys were talking about the ranges. I had a bullet fly over my shoulder once. Oh. And I went over and picked it up and looked at it. And way down at the end of the lane, there was just a guy and his son. And I walked over. I said, hey, are you guys shooting Federal Hydroshocks? And they looked at me just real surprised. And I showed it to them. And what they were doing was they were hitting the mud, and it was hitting the plywood backer, and it flipped up, and it it had a whizzing sound. It went right over my ear. But that was kind of funny because they were like, "How did you know what we're shooting?"
Oh wow!
And it was fully mushroomed, with the little cone sticking out. It was funny.
Yeah, the Hydroshock's kind of a unique one with that little stem sticking out.
Yeah.
Uncle Jim, did you see that video I shared with the guy that caught it in the ear muff with a 50 cal ricochet?
Yeah, I saw that too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Desert. Was it in the desert?
That was nuts.
Jeez.
That one guy said, "I don't think we're going to shoot at iron anymore."
I did a video, the Uncle Jim ricochet bullet, and you hear it go. Phew!
Yeah, the boomerang. You call it the boomerang.
Yeah, I have a lot of rocks back there, so I get a lot of that.
The thing is really that if you look at your manuals that comes with your firearm, it says do not shoot at steel plates. But you got companies promoting steel plates out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, your manual also says don't use reloads.
Yeah. That's true too.
Holy cow, I've been doing it wrong.
The question came up. The question came up in the side chat about concealed carry insurance liability and whatnot, and I'll be the first to say that I'm in no way qualified to answer that. That's another one of those things where you have to do what's comfortable for you, and it's Paul Harrell uses a term that I like. It's called program compliance. And if you decide that you're going to carry, you need to have a program that you follow, and anything that you can do to make that program be consistent is what's going to potentially save your life. And so if you start doing things different or that you're not comfortable with, or just on the advice of others, that's not good program compliance. But the topic of the insurance, I can't see anything negative about it, but I think that's something that each person has to evaluate. There's going to be trouble. You're probably going to go to jail. You're probably going to lose that gun and the others, at least temporarily. And those are all things that we have to somewhat expect are going to happen. So I think the key thing is, for me anyway, is to remember that the reason that I carry is to save my life. And that's what makes me be able to accept a lot of the other risks of negative things happening, is that the only reason I do it is to save my life. There's no other purpose for it. So I constantly tell myself, if somebody grabs a hold of me and takes my wallet and my life really isn't in danger, I have to forget that I even have the thing on me, and there isn't any insurance that's going to bail me out of it, if I choose. But I think the coverage is wise from a personal standpoint, but I don't know how the legal system will be if I ever have to face it. I've been to court enough to know that weird things happen. So, I don't have a good answer for anyone other than you have to research it and do what you're comfortable with and develop your own, what's an acceptable risk as far as monetary and liability. And you have to be able to live with yourself and sleep at night as well. So those are all things to consider. And if you have somebody that's got a lot of experience in training in these things, it may be worthwhile to talk to them. But I don't have great advice for an individual other than what they're comfortable with.
I would say I've heard several people when that gets brought up talk about a good shoot's a good shoot's a good shoot. Well, don't forget that after the criminal trial comes the civil trial.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And look how that worked out for OJ.
Yeah.
So laws are different all over the place. Juries are different. I don't like paying for insurance for anything, but I've had to use it for a few times for my car and other stuff. So that's
another thing that's come up there too is they talk about $22 a month for $1 million retainer with a defense lawyer. What you have to understand is USCCA and CarryGuard and all of them, they are referral networks. It's kind of like, I don't know what other people's states are like, but you always hear the 1-800-CALL-SAM, the Sam Bernstein law firm. I guarantee you when you call 1-800-CALL-SAM, you don't get Sam Bernstein, you get the network. And the network has lawyers that are members of, it's like an HMO or a PPO with insurance. They're members and participants, and you get referred to an attorney in your area. And that attorney may have more or less experience in firearms law or defense law or whatever else. So keep in mind that, you know, when you have the policy, say through the NRA or whatever, it's not like Wayne LaPerriere's buddy that's the firearms guy is going to represent you for that $22 a month. And I'm not saying all this is bad. There's probably excellent attorneys, and there's probably some that you wish were on the other side instead of yours. So just, you know, there's not anything that's for sure. So you got to do what's comfortable for yourself, and understand that some protection is probably better than no protection. But there's not going to be a free lunch in any of this, regardless of how much you pay. And, you know, it's like prepaid legal that Fran Tarkenton used to sell. You know, it's, yeah, great, you're covered and you've got a retainer, but you really don't know what you're getting. So just be mindful of that.
I think you hit the nail on the head with you saying that gun is a last resort. I mean, if somebody steals your wallet, you don't shoot them. You don't shoot somebody unless they are about to shoot you or kill you. That's bottom line.
That's right. You know, I carry, but I always say I hope I never have to use it, you know?
Yep.
I don't have insurance, but that's one thing that's the last thing I want to do is use it. Let's put it that way. Just to avoid the headaches.
Yeah, location matters a lot too, because we've had a couple here. One kid in a Walmart parking lot, a lady was getting robbed, and he shot the guy. And the sheriff, right on camera before, I mean, this just happened, he goes, "Justified."
Which I think it's, what is it, Maryland? If somebody comes into your house, you have to go retreat. In fact, you have to lock yourself in a room. You basically have to show that you tried to retreat 9 different times, and they'll still probably charge you with something. So absolutely, location matters.
Is that called the castle law?
Oh, they don't have castle law. They're there. It's a duty to retreat.
Me and
we just got rid of that.
Yeah, me and Craigie talked about that, and they got that in Connecticut.
Well, in New Jersey, I think it's just you have a right to get shot.
Oh, well, that's right.
As the good guy. As the good guy.
Yeah.
Where you live, Bacon, can't you, someone's even messing around with your car out in a parking lot, you can still pop them. Isn't that correct?
You know, I don't know. I haven't looked in it too close because of the, I'm of the perspective and opinion that, there's a couple specific situations I could potentially find myself where I might need a firearm. And other than that, I'm going to do everything, do my utmost to completely avoid using it. And so I haven't looked at it in detail. I will tell you, I'm in Texas, and people have assumed for a long time that Texas, they always use Texas as the kind of the model of, well, even in Texas, they didn't have open carry here until a couple of years ago. For over 100 years, you could not open carry in Texas. And now you can only open carry if you have a license to carry. So the very first day that open carry was legal, I carried my Smith & Wesson Model 29 6.5-inch barrel, just because I could. It's the only day I've open carried here, but just kind of celebrate that I could. And I went to several stores, and there's only one person I know of that even noticed it. 6.5-inch revolver in an outside the waistband leather holster, and where was I? I think it was a Harbor Freight. We're standing in line, and he stops and he looks down. He's like, "Oh yeah, that's today. I forgot I was going to carry mine today."
And so much of it's based on perception too. It's like, and Jim hit it too. It depends on where you are. Obviously a Model 29 in a leather holster on your belt, in El Paso probably doesn't draw any attention at all. But sometimes, depending on where you're around here, if your shirt rides up and somebody gets a look at whatever you're carrying, that guy has a gun,
cause a panic. Yep.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where it's so situational. And I do what works for me, and what works for me is to basically try to be as I've had people ask me that are friends, are you carrying? I'm like, well, I have a concealed carry permit. If I talk about it, is it concealed? Or what are you carrying today? It's like, it's not like that for me. That doesn't excite me. I don't, and it's same thing with, people talk about ammo choices and hand loads versus everybody's going to be different. What's acceptable to them. Me personally, I feel that blending in, I tend to kind of sort of do what local law enforcement does, just to not be, so when I get dragged into court about it, if there are questions about my methods or my training, I was trained by the captain of the road patrol of our county when I took my CCW class, just him going over how his department enforces transport and this and that and the other is worth doing that. And so, I mean, if I ever get called in, it's like, I was trained by your captain, for Pete's sake. So I think do you need to do that? No. Does it make a difference? No. It makes me feel more comfortable about, my ability to be able to deal with a situation should it arise, not only the confrontation, but if I have to speak for it, later on that I understand what I'm doing. And I'm not cavalier about it at all. I wish the world was a place where you didn't have to think about protecting yourself, but it seems to be that it's a wise choice at this point in time.
Walk softly, carry a big stick. That's about the quickie.
Yeah.
My favorite line is this: Marshall K. Hill, is it true that you've killed over 23 men? I never killed any of them that didn't need killing.
Yeah.
Big Man's Outdoors, it's been suggested that you write something on the side chat so that folks can link to your channel and go subscribe.
Okay.
Yeah, Big Man, I've enjoyed your work recently. You had some interesting things there about the bullets changing, and didn't expect this, and I've really enjoyed watching some of that. It's fun to watch somebody stepping through and trying new things and learning from it. It's fun to watch. Yeah,
it's certainly fun to be a part of it for sure. It's like I said, I'm just trying to learn, and the more I learn, or the more I find I don't know, and it's just trying to put it all together, see what I can do. It's just a journey and just fun. Just fun. That's the only way to describe it. It's fun. I mean, I like to tinker and I like to try and play around with it, and maybe something will come together, maybe it won't.
Hey, we're a couple hours into this thing. We'll cut it off here pretty soon, but let's go ahead and do our last giveaway tonight. Again, giving away a coffee mug and a patch. If you're interested in a coffee mug and a patch, I don't know, maybe type the words Boaters Network into the chat box and hit enter.
Does spelling count?
I don't know. I can't spell.
TRN.
Hey, Jamie's rocking the patch.
There you go.
Throwing hammers is quicker. It's easier.
Hey, that foam hammer that Nathan sent you, Jim, that was top notch.
Nathan's a cool guy, man. I've really enjoyed getting to know him. And Big Man, I'll say this about what you said. I think most of us on here make videos to have fun and to learn and to share what we're learning with other folks. I think that's the whole.
Yep. I mean, that's a big part. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there. I apologize for that.
That's okay, man. And make friends. Make the friends that we have here. I've been on here since March, and I like Willie said the other night, I consider a lot of these guys family.
I remember the first time I saw Jamie, you were with Kyle, and it looked like you were in a dungeon or a basement and talking about, I got a new guy here and blah, blah, blah. And that was such a funny video. I enjoyed it.
It was pretty fun. That was, we had just won molds from Taco on a bacon taco chat. And we had just gotten them. And he called me up and said, come down to my house and we'll make a video. I said, well, I don't know where you live. He said, I live in Cartersville. And I'm like, well, I'm just 20 miles up the road. That was the second time we had met, and we videoed it and put a video up.
It was
Remember
fun.
that? Yeah.
It was funny because I heard you talking, and you were like Bacon. You were incognito, and they didn't show your face. And then later on, when you did your first video, the voice and the face didn't really go together for me, and it took me a while to say, okay, well that's the same guy. You know, it's the same guy.
I don't know what to say to that. I hear my own voice and look in the mirror.
But yeah, like you were saying, you know, part of the reason why I started this whole thing is because I learned a lot from, you know, everybody that I see on here and everything that I've seen, just searching, looking to try and sort this stuff out. And I just felt like I needed to try and give a little bit back because, you know, at least specifically with the 224 Valkyrie, not to always come back to that, but, you know, there's a lot of people out there who just aren't getting good stuff out of that cartridge, and I didn't either. And then when it all started to come together for me, and like I said, it was just a matter of, because of stuff I'd seen and learned, I wanted to try and put some of that back out there and, you know, give back a little bit.
All right. Well, it looks like the first person that typed in Reloaders Network was Big Al, but then Vanessa Kitty was right on his heels, and you know, ladies first. So, you know what? I'll send them both. So Big Al and Vanessa Kitty both. I'll throw my email out there again. Shoot me an email with your mailing address, and I'll get that out to you.
There's Willie. Hey, Willie Bullet Man.
Willie Bullet Man in the chat. And Uncle Jim with the slippers, the high heels.
Yeah, that was Bacon's pun of the day, right on his heels. Okay.
Oh. Wow.
What? What? No, he's using puns. Vanessa Kitty probably wears heels sometimes. Okay.
Well, let's see. It's 11:09, so Uncle Jim's been live for like 26 hours now. So.
Oh, I don't think he was very live today.
No.
So what was that round we were talking about earlier that somebody asked if anybody had experience with? Wasn't that 7.62 by 28, or is it 27?
25.
25.
25.
This friend of mine, his dad brought one back from Korea and had it completely nickel plated, and it had been sitting in a closet since Korea, basically. And we shot that thing, and that was big time fun. That's the first. I won't say that. Never mind. But that drum magazine was very persnickety. And I think if we got some stick magazines, that thing would have worked a lot better. But that is a fun round. I chronoed them at about 1,250 feet per second. And what weight was that? I think it's like 125 grain bullet. So you're approaching 357 mag velocities and performance with that round, if I remember correctly. Is that what you experienced, Uncle Jim?
Well, I was using the pistol, and I thought it was a great hot round, and it penetrates. Back then, it was penetrating the vest, too, so it did everything. But it was super fun. You have to watch out for some of that subgun ammo would split and cause I had a whole couple boxes that were doing that and had to throw them out, but they weren't for the pistol. And it was cheap. It was like the price of $4 a box, $5 a box.
Yeah, those are intriguing calibers. You know, the 7.62 25. You know, both variants of it. The Tokarev variant, and then what it was 7.62 25. earlier one, and then of course there was the 30 Mauser too, which was this little shorter one. But the intriguing, bottleneck pistol cartridges. One of the things that intrigues me about 30 Mauser is it's the same length, 30 Luger, is that it's the same length as the 9mm, but with the shoulder I can headspace them off the shoulder, and for some of the stuff that I want to do, that's the goal. And then you can longer bullets. Well, what I'm doing is along the lines of the stuff that Jones does at SSK Industries. He had what was called the 30 Micro Whisper, which is the 30 Mauser with heavy bullets, and he did the Mini Whisper, which is the Tokarev cartridge with long, heavy 30 caliber bullets. So what I'm working on is along that lines of blowback, subsonic, suppressed, that's based on 30 Mauser, so I can use 30 caliber rifle bullets in it and shoot subs.
Wow, it'd be. I want to see a picture of that seated. It's going to be like.
Yeah, and the challenge for me is that I'm kind of a rookie with the chambering and whatnot. So depending on what the reamer will accomplish and what I can do as far as a longer bullet, and 99% of what I want to shoot is going to be light anyway, and the standard overall length of the 30 Mauser or 30 Luger is fine. But Jones doesn't advertise a lot about those two cartridges anymore, but I want to make the call. I think I can still get a contender barrel. It's not going to be cheap, but that'd be a good place to start and play with. I think he'll still chamber a contender in 30 Micro.
The mental image I'm getting is kind of like that one Taco shoots. What is that? The 338 Spectre? It looks like a little tiny pop can with a telephone pole sticking out the top.
Right. Yep. This would look a lot like a 300 Blackout, but shorter. It'd be real short. It'd be 25 millimeters.
Lone Wanderer 360. They have those Zastava PT Tokarevs at Classic Firearms for $179 right now.
Yep.
That's not the greatest price. I imagine they used to be like $75, $5 to us old guys back in the 60s. No, but yeah, that's still a pretty good deal. And those look very comparable to those Star BMs that the Emperor loves so much. And Ozark's got one that he really likes as well. Those are just really good-looking, tight-fitting pistols.
Jamie, I did have a Tokarev clone Chinese in 9mm. They were made that way. Really sharp around the safety, and it cut you a little bit, but I couldn't believe how good that shot at 25 yards. It shot really good groups. And it was just I think it was $70 or something. I bought it used from somebody, but it just needed a lot of milling down because it was sharp.
The thing that's kept me from buying one at that price is the grip angle looks really weird.
Kind of steep.
Yeah.
It's upright. It's upright more than the 1911. The 52's like that also. It's upright.
Yeah.
But you get used to it really quick.
It seemed like you would. I might have to get me one of those.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
I regretted not buying the 52 that I looked at. I wish I would have, especially since I had both barrels.
I'm sure Jamie has a church in the morning, and he's back east, so let's be kind to him, and we'll go for about 5 more minutes. So let's go ahead and wrap it up, and then we'll say good night and Merry Christmas to everybody.
Well, I'll say Merry Christmas, Curtis. Thanks for the box.
You're welcome.
We're going to be doing some 35 Remington loads and 8mm loads, and watch us on Friday nights on the Reloading Press, and check out the Reloaders Network. And Merry Christmas to everybody.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Jimmy.
Merry Christmas.
So, want to go around and see if does anybody have any plans for the next couple of days and what they're going to do? Will they get some free time or?
Well, not going to be much free time here.
No.
I mean, for me, I need to get out and get my muzzleloader sighted in, make sure that's shooting okay, and test that little sight-in trick that I just made a video about, see if that really holds water. I also want to try and make some more 224 Valkyrie rounds and get some shooting in with that. I'd like to try and get that done here in the next couple of days. We'll see if it happens. But
eventually, you got to try loading 224 Valkyrie with black powder.
You know what? I actually thought about putting something in that black powder video whenever I was making that, pulling out that black powder. That crossed my mind. Sure, that would make a mess in an AR platform, though. Black powder, oof. I mean, it'd be cool, lots of smoke, but dear God, cleaning that thing. Whew.
Yeah, I think your gas block could just end up being a blockage.
Turn it into a muzzleloader, AR muzzleloader.
Well, I finally got me a shooting rest bag so I can get out to the range here in a couple, I don't know, next day or two. Try to see what I can do with these that I loaded up. I'm kind of scared to shoot my first rifle loads, but if something bad happens, y'all will see it.
That's what to me. Every time I work on a new load, first thing I do, I say a prayer. Especially
rifle.
Definitely a pucker factor involved.
Pistol, I wasn't so scared of. This, yeah, a little bit.
It was all for me. I remember first with that AR and then 327 Federal mag, loaded a couple of those up, and it was like, oh man, should I really maybe I should try and put a glove on or
shoot around a brick wall?
Iron glove, yeah, something.
Yeah,
definitely shoot left-handed first time.
You got earplugs and glasses on. What could go wrong?
Yeah.
When you open your eyes and there's a hole in the paper downrange, you feel this real great sense of accomplishment.
Yeah, Chico Wise was talking about being nervous starting reloading. I said, it don't go away. I still do it. Every time I change up a load or change to a bullet, I stick it out there arm's length and let it go.
Yeah, there's a piece of that. If you are completely comfortable with just switching powders that you've never used before, it might be time to take a step back. There should be a little healthy respect there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm gonna say, I could check it. I could check the load 3 or 4 times just to make sure that I'm comfortable when I'm putting together. And I still am scared to pull the trigger the first time I go out there with it.
Yep.
Yeah.
243 Outdoors says your first time launching 114 grains of H4350. Yeah, a little nervous. I don't think you have to worry about breaking the gun. Your body on that one.
Say that.
Boy, it's funny that the first shot when he shot that steel tractor weight, it sure moved it. I mean, he only hit the corner of it, but boy, it sure flipped it and threw some dirt around and stuff. That's a lot of power.
I thought cannons are supposed to come with wheels on them.
You already got one of them, what is it, double beveled canoes that you can set in like a punt gun?
Oh, those are... I've seen some videos on those. Those look like fun.
Apparently you've never seen Tremors 4.
Big
243 says it.
He must have the same provider as Bacon. He's struggling. You have AT&T down there, Bacon?
I do.
Sounds like you and Big Al are both having issues.
I seem to be doing a lot better once I restarted my computer a couple times and I reset my router.
Yeah.
Josh over at 243 Outdoors said he's going to release his video on that cartridge now. So head on over there and check that out. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
I told him I want to see the video after his first shot. You get the geek, and then the...
He was super cool. Josh Josh has got good form behind the rifle, so he's not going to get bit by that thing. I mean, and there is no scope to hit him. He's open sights, but he's got good posture on the firearm, and he knows how to get square behind it. And you could see that he was bending his front knee a little more as he went along, and but he was taking the recoil just fine. So I mean, he's ready for something bigger. Nitro Express on the way, man.
Well, and Josh is a tall guy, but he's not a big guy.
Yeah, he just released that video, so when this is over with, we'll have to all go check it out.
Absolutely.
Well, if that's the case, let's go ahead and cut this thing off. So say your goodbyes, and I want to wish everyone on screen and in the side chat a very Merry Christmas. It's been quite a year. We're kind of wrapping the year up. Looking forward to what 2019 has, but man, the community we've got here just continues to blow me away. Grinning from ear to ear. The kindness and the big hearts. Jamie getting that big box from Curtis is just a small sampling of things we've seen all year, and so it's I certainly have plenty of reason to celebrate this Christmas, and y'all are a big part of that. So thank you.
Yeah. Thank you as well for all the effort you put into it this past year. We probably all wouldn't know each other if it wasn't for you. Appreciate it.
Oh, don't go blaming all y'all end up doing together on me.
Yeah, I'd like to say, what an absolute pleasure it's been to be a part of this tonight. I just, like I said, I feel humble and just completely blown away to be talking with, everybody here. It's just wonderful, and thank you all for letting me be a part of it. And I certainly look forward to watching it, and I'm just tickled to be a part of it now. So, thank y'all, and y'all have a Merry Christmas for sure.
Welcome home, brother.
Thank you.
Just like Willie says, we're more like family than we are friends.
That's true.
And with that, guys, I'm going to say good night and Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Good night, Tim.
Merry Christmas, Tim.
Good night, Jim. Easy on the corn dusting now.
Anything else y'all want to say?
Merry Christmas, everybody. Love this stuff, and I hope everyone has a really nice one without issue.
Amen. That's a fact.
Be safe. Ozark Squad.
I had to throw it in.
Without anyone saying typical.
I would say.
All right, I might want to say hairy butt.
Oh no.
Sorry, Jim.
Well, I want to say thank you for having me. Everyone have a Merry Christmas. I had a wonderful time this year with everybody here. Just like Willie says, we're all family here. I'm going to say thank you again. And I'm on the Reloaders Network if you ever want to reach me there. And also you can find me on Slack if you ever want to talk. And everyone have a Merry Christmas.
You too, Ocean.
I'd like to
Merry Christmas.
Pass along my thoughts and some prayers for the people who aren't as fortunate as I am that are struggling this time of year. I know we got some folks with health issues that could use a little bit of help, and we got Willie trying to move, could use some help. I wish that I'm not going to say I wish I was in California to help you. I wish you were a closer vicinity so I could help. I've lived in California, beautiful place. It's just too bad they're going through so many struggles. But anyway, I think it's important that we keep in mind that not everybody has it as good as we have, and struggles, and none of us are getting younger and have new things to face. So I like to try to keep that in mind, that there's people that could use a little bit of prayer to help them get through the day. And to all my friends here, thanks a lot. I've enjoyed everything we've done, and thanks to Bacon for the work he's put into bringing us all together. And that's not a small task. I've helped him a little bit here and there with some of the videos, and you see, I was watching yesterday, all of them roll in. There's a lot of videos to get on loaded up and whatnot. So, but anyway, thanks to everybody for having the same interests we're all sharing. It's a lot of fun, and I enjoy the time that we spend together, and we'll see you again next time.
Well, I'm certainly not going to try to top that, so we'll go ahead and cut this off. Thank you, everyone, and I think most of us are heading over to the check out 243 Outdoors video. So have a great night.
Mm-hmm.
Night.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye.
Night, everybody.
Good night.